Success in life was not designed to be accidental. You must be influenced to succeed. And I want you to realize this important fact. You will never grow beyond the influence of the circle to which you belong. And that is why you must seek to upgrade your circle. The Power of a Circle by Larry Ovey. Read by Julia Rimanson. Chapter 1. The Village Circle. I was born in a small town where anybody's business was everybody's business. More than 40 years ago, Oregon town was close enough to nature. We went to farm and heard the crickets chirp and saw the squirrels scamper along on tree branches, carrying palm nuts to their nests. Then I had never heard of electricity. We went to farm all day and came back home to darkness and the dull light of roughly crafted lamps. What we did not know did not attract us. We were happy in our own way. We fetched water from the streams and used firewood for cooking. Clay pots were our water containers. The streets were always lively with little children playing all sorts of games. There were no threats to life from cars, as there were very few of them coming to the village. At night, we had our dinner together in the open. We children sat on the floor, and our parents on stools. We were warned of keeping close to the house and away from dark places, so as to avoid all sorts of snakes looking for errant rats to catch for dinner. And then we went to sleep on our mats, only to wake up next day to continue our simple life. That was all the life we knew or cared about. We heard of the white man's land and all sorts of wonder going on there. But who cared? We were happy with what we had and never imagined that we had any potential to make any impact on the world at large. But I began to wonder about what lay behind our little town. I was only 5 years old when this began. My consciousness for life began to grow gradually. Then all we cared about and loved was seriously upset by the Biafran War. A segment of Nigerian nation decided to break away. This cession was to cause years of trouble, untold hardship, famine, and needless death to many millions. Suddenly, all we cherished became threatened. My dad had become an overseer in the Ministry of Works, and we moved to the Urobo region to be closer to our kin. Suddenly, I became aware of another level of human existence, whereas the only sources of water I knew were the rain and the streams. I became acquainted with pipe-borne water. I stood speechless when I saw how simply turning a knob opened a torrent of water into buckets. That was not all. At night, someone just walked up to a black button on the wall, and snap, there was a light. Wonders did not end there. Radios, big cars, motorcycles, airplanes, refrigerators. I was flabbergasted. So all these conveniences existed in the world. The village suddenly lost its attraction to me. I never wanted to go back there again for anything. But my parents thought differently. When it was time to go, they expected me to follow sheepishly. I resisted what I saw as their attempt to drag me back to the Stone Age. I had settled down to this life of luxury, and I wasn't about to go back to their life of misery. I had made friends in the city that talked differently and dressed civilized. I had become used to electricity, tap water, and all that the city life had to offer. but I could not resist their authority or physical strength. They simply packed me and took me back to the village. I cried for 2 weeks. It was almost impossible to console me. That is the power of a circle. Life is in phases, but each phase of life will be determined by the kind of circle you belong to. The village life I was used to was a circle. The city life was another circle. If I had remained in the village till now, I would still be a farmer. My life would be a lot different from what it is now. I learned from my early childhood that to move on and make progress in life, you must keep upgrading your circle. See, no amount of labor will bring breakthrough to the fool mentioned here until he changes his circle and moves to the city. I'm writing this book as a great weapon that will change your life and upgrade you from where you are now to where you should be. My dad had started hobnobbing with people of the higher classes, but thus expanding his circle, he began to understand the importance of education. He then developed the vision for me to become educated. When it was time to go to college, my dad arranged for me to write the entrance exam to a prestigious school. I was not a dull pupil, so I prepared well for the exam and the interview. The interview day arrived, and I found myself facing the panel of interviewers. I was confident, expecting to parry any question they threw at me. After all, I had prepared well. The man at the head of the table peered at me over the rims of his eyeglasses. He sized me up and looked skeptical. He asked me the first question. "What is the color of your dad's car?" Well, that is simple, I thought. I expected real academic questions. But if all they were going to ask me was these easy questions, then my admission was a foregone conclusion. "My daddy has no car," I truthfully answered. But that was the last question he asked me. Although I did not understand that, there was no need for another. I sauntered away from the interview room feeling lucky, until I told my dad the question they asked me. He was sad. He understood perfectly the reason for that question. The interviewers just wanted to know if my dad had a car or not. If I had answered red or blue, they would have assumed that we had a car, and therefore able to pay my school fees. I was refused admission. This incident further made me understand the power of a circle. In that school was a circle of children of car owners. In those days, only very rich people could afford a car of any kind. My dad did not belong to that circle, so I could not go to their school. Now, this was a great blow to me, but it stirred up in me a great desire to improve my life. I wanted to get into better places. Although my desire to get to the city was shattered once again, I kept looking for every available opportunity to leave the village. It became an obsession with me. Understanding the circle of life. The concept of the circle, in the context we're talking about in this book, will be clearer to you if you come to understand it is as something you belong to. The Encarta dictionary has the following words as synonyms of circle: group, gang, set, clique, crowd. Each of these words sheds more light on the concept of a circle. Most of us live our lives without being cognizant of the impact and the effect that the circles we belong to have on us. we do not do anything consciously to improve our circle of friends, business partners, acquaintances, and so on. I want to open your eyes to a great truth in here, and I want you to keep this at the back of your mind always. You will never be better or greater than the circle you belong to. So it logically follows that to become better in life, you must always seek to upgrade your circle. Let me sound a note of warning. I am not advocating the ideas some people have, which makes them refuse to work, but instead seek to join some social organizations which they think will help them. A circle is like a fence. It not only keeps bad people out, you must use it to keep good people in also. You will only attract to yourself those who are like you, so seek to be a better person first. The journey of life is from one circle to the other. Those who have the desire to be better must continually seek to surround themselves with people who will encourage them to get better. The next chapter will open your eyes further to what you will have to do to expand your circle positively. The end of chapter 1.